Okay, here we are with Ivelisse
Diaz.
de Chicago, Windy City.
Sabe.
It's the 5th interview that we're doing of Mujeres en la Bomba, Mujeres de la Diáspora en la Bomba. Para mí ha sido un placer y un honor tenerte aquí. I didn't give up because it was, it was a little difficult to get in touch because of the pandemic and all that. And but Karen, one of your students, told me that she mentioned you, and as you can tell, this series is for us to engage in a conversation about the role of women in bomba music and the significance of your presence and your involvement with it. Pero let's start with de dónde tú eres, cómo llegas a la diáspora.
Seguro. So my name is Ivelisse, me llamo Ivelisse y soy de Chicago, Puerto Rico. Soy del pueblo de Guayama. But I'm born and raised in la diáspora. La diáspora raised me in Bomba y Plena.
But you were born in Chicago.
I was born and raised in Chicago.
I don't know, when you were growing up, Nueva York, we had the Pleneros de la 21. Mm-hmm. We had the Pleneros de la 21 before Guango was another group that was the leader was another guy, and then he left for Puerto Rico and he left Guango with the group, which, and what I'm saying is that the only group that I saw here was that. But who were your the people?
Who started? Well, Grupo Yuba, ¿verdad? Grupo Yuba started in 1989, 1988. And before Grupo Yuba, before there was a bomba group, there was a plena group que se llama Los Pleneros de Yucayé, que eso ya estaban dando ahí candela en 1983. Pero para mí el grupo que yo vi creciendo y me enseñó mucho era el Grupo Yuba.
Bomba y Plena or
Bomba y Plena. Yeah, Bomba y Plena.
Who was the founders of
the two founders were Tito Rodríguez and Eli Rodríguez. Y Eli Rodríguez mi tío.
Okay.
Y so de eso and the way that I learned really was in my cocina, en mi casa. Where my aunt and uncle, Titi Mina y tío Eli, pues hacían estos intercambios con ya maestros en Puerto Rico, los traía para Chicago. So así fue mi
like who?
Como los primeros, Titi Nelly, Lebrón y tío Dufrane, por eso es que yo lo llamo a Titi tío, porque ha estado en mi cocina desde como los 4 años, 5 años.
So for the people that don't know, Nelly and
are professors and mayores and elders.
And they're the founders of
Paracumbe,
which is one of the most seminal groups de Puerto Rico.
Seguro. Concentrated in Southern Bomba. Del sur.
Okay, que esa es la parte tuya, Guayama.
Sí, me encanta.
Arroyo y toda Patilla,
Salina,
Ponce.
Todo eso, estamos todos juntos.
So, to be honest with you, you are lucky because I never saw Nelly in New York or Dufrane. I saw Nelly in a BomPlenazo about 10 years ago. That was the first time that I saw her live.
Oh, she's magical.
I know.
She is magical, and I was really blessed that I got to kind of like be so influenced by her and be around her because en la manera que ella canta, en la manera que la voz a mí me tocó, era alguien that I could look back to and be like, wow.
When I heard that voice, yo quedé pegado. Yo le escribía a él y le compré una caja de discos, de 25 discos. I used to sell that record from my house for like $3, $4.
That is técnica,
yes.
And that's beautiful. And they're now
so
elders.
Now I'm starting to learn de dónde te viene a ti el duende.
Oh, man.
Because, yo entiendo ya.
Es que I was raised by elders y mayores that anytime they saw a kid do something or enseñarle un paso, they got excited and they poured in you. They invested in you.
All
Vamos,
right.
pues vamos a hacer este paso, pues vamos a hacer. Que tú sabes que en la bomba mucho tiempo era de muchos adultos, no
Sí.
muchos niños. Pues no, en Chicago había un espacio para mayores, pero también para el desarrollo of little kids, which that's where I
Were
went
you
into.
able to travel to the island, you know, in the summers or
Oh,
Christmas?
sí, yeah, we didn't believe in daycares. So mami me mandaba con mi abuela, por eso es que yo tengo amigos en los caseríos, en Guayama, en Calimano, tú sabes, mis
All
primos
right.
y todo, porque I went to Puerto Rico todos los summers, from June to September, tú sabes, hasta como los 12, 13 años, desde chiquita, so, era una cosa buena, una cosa bella, ¿verdad? Poder tener eso, you know, part of like my childhood, like going to go and buy Limber y abuela gritándonos que ya entren, tú sabes, como que esas cosas
Yeah.
también son bien esenciales.
So, how long ago did you started like doing your thing and ¿sabes? Sembrando, ¿sabes? Parándote, plantando, esto es lo que yo quiero hacer.
I was 5 years old, and I tell you this, when I got exposed to Bomba, I was maybe 3 or 4, but when I remember taking a basic step where, you know, I was in practice, y ya la disciplina and everything which was already in the family, I was about 5 years old where they created Las Yubitas. They created a kids group in 1992. 93, if I'm not mistaken. I was 5, 6, and we started Los Yubitas. So había Grupo Yuba y La Yubitas,
Oh, wow.
where the little ones will open up for the adult show. And then we got so popular, the adults couldn't perform without us. Watching like 5 or 6
I don't know,
kids.
they never traveled to New York. Did they ever come to
La
New York?
Yubitas, no, because in those times when we're talking about the early 90s, like La Diáspora, the cities, and when I talk about the cities, like really that was doing it was New York and Chicago. Y nosotros estábamos like what we're living now and what folks are able to live now and experience, that's what was plantando bandera 30, 40 years ago.
Wow.
So we didn't have time to travel anywhere else but to be in our cities because that was the foundation to what folks are living 40 years later.
Wow, you are, I saw Chicago was like, como que no pasaba nada y ahora tú me estás diciendo
Oh,
que
yeah.
había un ambiente
Oh,
y que
sí,
todavía
los pleneros de Yucayé, que después Grupo Yuba, oh, sí.
que
se
existe
han-
hasta hoy día. O sea, esto, besides you, there's other people also.
Oh, there's a whole team. I don't move by myself. O sea,
Okay.
yo tengo la escuelita. I have an all-women group. We have Bombera de Corazón. Between us, it's about like 13, 14, 15 of us. There's other groups in Chicago también que se han desarrollado y hacen el trabajo. Pero la escuela de bomba, de la escuelita Bombera de Corazón, sí es la única escuela de bomba que se ha creado así en Chicago, en la historia de Chicago.
Okay.
And I love it because I just didn't make this school for Chicago. I made it for the whole diaspora so we can all be on a couple of pages together without having to do bomba based on what communities are
All right.
going through.
Dentro de la pandemia tú estabas ya viajando.
Yes.
O
Yeah, in 2017, and I founded La Escuelita in 2009. So in about 2017, a couple of people already about 2015 me empezaron a escribir, hey, would you like to give class here, give class there? Pero no se pudo dar con todo el trabajo que yo tenía y bomba con Buya y las BomPleneras y los
Okay.
bomberos. So imagínate que no se dio la oportunidad. But around 2017, I started traveling and
where to? Can you mention?
we want to say it's Texas, it's California, it's Utah, New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, Cuba. During the pandemic, I got to go to Spain. Muchos sitios donde necesitaban no solamente las clases de baile and just show up, but really community building, what that means, you know, and how we can keep communities together. And I tell you that all these people that have called me to come out to their cities, they've been so part of my fundamental work and my growth. It gave me an opportunity to come into other communities and, you know, you got to be aware how you come in. I can be Ivelisse Diaz, Bombera de Corazón, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the way that I come into folks' spaces and what can I contribute, you know? Es una cosa bella.
So, I mean, this is an ongoing situation.
Yes.
That it's, you travel to these places, but you leave una semilla ahí para
Absolutely.
que sigan so they can continue.
Absolutely, and
the
whatever,
job?
and yes, absolutely, and whatever folks, however folks need to be helped for the love of community and the preservation de Bomba en la diáspora, ahí estoy yo para ayudar.
And volviendo al tema de esta charla, ¿cómo tú ves el rol de la mujer comparado con 30, 40 años atrás, con el rol que están teniendo ahora, de las experiencias viajando que tú tienes?
Well, it is a change, right? It is a change. Born in 87, I'm 36 now, and growing up, the folks that taught me Bomba were men. So skirts, men in skirts, moving and showing me. And I think that's so powerful because as we see Bomba now, you know, there's so much, right? As we open spaces for all to be included. I love it because all the things I grew up in and how elders invested in me and the places I were in were part. Es como que se está repitiendo todo ahora. You know, it's so. It's very powerful. And when it comes to the role of women, I hope that I reflect all the love and the goodness and the work that elders have done and have invested in me. So when you see me, you see Ivelisse, but please be assured that you see elders.
Hay una tribu.
Sí, hay una tribu. I never walk alone. And I've always been very hyper since I was little, very wild child. I love to create. I love to live in the moment. Y that's my don. Why not share it?
Recientemente hubo un encuentro de tambores en Ponce.
Sí. Oh.
Pero el rol tuyo no es solamente de asistir, you are the one that organized.
I lead the diaspora delegation, yes.
Okay.
This is our 4th year. Y eso es el encuentro de tambores. El encuentro de tambores is a committee, right? De Norma Salazar, que es la maestra de Marien Torres. Y Marien Torres es una de mis hermanas de Cora. Y pues ella, hace 4 años, she invited la diáspora como que, wait, if we're going to tell the story about Bomba and the whole world needs to know about the story of Bomba, baby, la diáspora has to be here. Okay. And so, el primer año, we were part of it, and we were only able to get 17 folks out of the whole diaspora. Everybody had 80, 90 folks in
17 from
diaspora. That's it.
New York.
Yeah,
Chicago,
I called everybody
California.
that I could. Yeah, because this is new for us. So, you know, it's like the struggle, you know.
Yes.
And some people are like, "Pe vamos." We showed up 17 and we went out there on that floor and we walked out. 17 of us walked out like we were 50 of us, 60 of us, like. You know, because you...
Postura.
Yeah, postura, como que la... But it was beautiful because that first year, you know, el encuentro de tambores allowed us to call some of our brothers and sisters from Puerto Rico to join us, right? Because el encuentro de tambores is just not showing up and drumming. Hay intención, certain singers you have to have, the amount. So it's really good. It allows folks to include. No pude ir el segundo año, pero el tercer año, poquito a poco, pues el comité me dijo, mira, we need you to pull the whole diaspora. And so the year before, last year, we showed up with 88 of us.
Oof.
Yeah, and I practiced everyone.
That's numbers. Those
yeah,
are numbers.
baby, those are numbers, and those are powerful. Last year, we showed up 95, and so I thought that was so special. I'm so proud of. Shout out to la diáspora for showing. We are the only diáspora. We are almost $100,000 delegation. Why? We don't live in Puerto Rico. So when we fly into Puerto Rico, we have to get tickets. We have to get Airbnb and there's so much going on, so many dynamics. There's people doing Bomba here that no son Boricua, one. There's people doing Bomba en la diáspora that are 3rd, 4th, 5th generation, ¿verdad? Of Puertorriqueños and have not gone back to the island. So they've been able to come back to the island through Encuentro de Tambores, ¿verdad? Una cosa tan bella. But I also took advantage that through Encuentro de Tambores, I also go out of my way to put together workshops where la diáspora can all take them. So we make sure that no matter we're in 50 states, we pick a sound for all of us, so that can decide.
So there's a young group here that they have a project called Repatriotas.
Ooh.
And you're going to meet Veronica later. And I want to connect with them because what they're doing is that they are taking they're organizing groups to go to Puerto Rico, pero no a eso de turistear.
No.
Van buscando cosas culturales, ecológicas, and it would be good. There might be something there for you.
I would love to connect.
To incorporate it with them in what they're doing, and they're going now in September. They will be in Puerto Rico, and they are using la sala for organizing. That's one of the roles of la sala. Esto es un punto de encuentro para la gente. Aquí se hacen reuniones, no se hacen cumpleaños de muñeca, pero si lo piden, lo hacemos. Pero se está haciendo cosas para la comunidad y que veas este sitio que como un recurso.
Like a hub donde todo el mundo se puede encontrar.
Anoche, el jueves, donde se hizo la actividad del taller, no se podía hacer aquí porque aquí la vecina me iba a botar cuando tambores. Pero tenemos la 9, el Loisaida Center, y eso es un espacio que hay que considerarlo para cosas futuras. So, tell me about San Francisco, Barcelona. You've been in those places.
Yes, actually, San Francisco con Denise Solí y las Bomberas de la Bahía, ¿verdad? BB for Life. Ese fue mi primer viaje. About 15 years ago was my first viaje. Y ya ellas estaban dando candela. You know, las Bomberas de la Bahía is what
ellas vinieron a un BomPlenazo.
Sí, ellas vinieron, but
those women exist.
They've evolved, ¿verdad? Because the good thing about Bomba and groups and stuff like that is that people evolve. And so se van gente, se montan nuevo. And so that's the good thing about Bomba, it's very alive, ¿verdad? Pero ahora mismo taller Bomba BLL, ¿verdad? Que está con Julia Cepeda, Denise, soloist, todos ellos están en la California. San Francisco, Oakland, ¿verdad? So todavía están ahí, pero todos, bomberas de la Bahía. The first all-women group in California, fue lo que me pompearon para hacer las BomPleneras. Las BomPleneras sí, es el grupo femenino que hace Bomba y Plena en la historia, ¿verdad? Aquí, Bomba y Plena, mujeres solamente. Pero Bombera de la Bahía, Nandí.
What are the ages?
BomPleneras, the youngest one is 26, and I'm the oldest one at 36. Y estamos juntas ya 14 años.
Oh, wow.
So the ones that are 26, I was asking their parents for permission. Can I take them? They were 13 and 15, but let me tell you, they were 13 and 15 studying son jarocho, una que es mexicana y peruana, playing son jarocho since she was 2, 3, lo mismo que yo. Y la otra toca el 4, te toca el 4 acá, se crió. Imagine at 13, imagine them now. They're my voices, they are just like...
What about, how did the Spain connection came about?
The Spain connection was through a MacArthur Fund intercambio that we got. Y fue through Segundo Rick Belvis, ¿verdad? Con Mancha de Plátano. Y so Mancha Plátano got to come here to Chicago.
Where's Mancha Plátano from?
Barcelona, Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an all-women group called Mancha Plátano. Bueno, hubo, ¿verdad? Because now there's 2 different projects. As I tell you, everything evolves. Pero las muchachas son boricuas ahí de pura cepa de Puerto Rico y se fueron a estudiar en Barcelona, se encontraron y hicieron un grupo. Y so, en esa oportunidad pudimos, we did an intercambio, and so they got to come to Chicago. This is pandemic time, so it was a little scary. But they got to come to Chicago, and then we got to go over there to Barcelona, and it was
You went alone or you got...
No, con todo el corillo, Bomba con Buya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ahora, we have different projects, but it's because we've been around. El corillo, los hermanos míos, las hermanas, we've been doing Bomba for over 25 years together.
All right.
So when there's an idea, we're like, let's do it. Well, let's do it. But vamos a sumar. Okay.
I have to be honest with you. I think I heard about you, but the first time that I saw you in full force was at the destilería. Estaba Jesús Cepeda y estaban todas las mujeres, estaba Norca.
Ah, sí, que yo
estaba
vine.
Carla, estaba Yasmín, y yo te vi a ti, and I was like, what the hell is
Nadie sabía que yo venía. Nobody knew that I was coming. I just showed up and I said, what?
Totally,
Vámonos.
I was saying, wow. Y para decirte la verdad, yo no me digo embuste, pero...
No digan embuste, Pepe.
Ahí fue que yo cogí la inspiración para hacer este proyecto de las mujeres en la bomba.
¿En verdad?
Porque estaban todas ustedes ahí, estabas tú y dije, no, esto ya no cabe en el cartucho, esto hay que sacarlo para afuera.
Look at that.
And that was like an inspiration to start this conversatorio.
That's what I love. Eso es lo más importante.
Y bueno, a Yasmín la tuve que traer de Puerto Rico porque you have to be in there. I'm looking forward for Carla and Manuela.
Ay, sí,
you know, that's very important. So we talk about Barcelona, we talk about, what about Florida?
Florida, mi papá, the way I connect with Florida is that my father lives in Florida for the last 28 years. O sea, se boricua, se fue de Guayama, Chicago, a la Florida, Orlando.
Okay.
Y cuando yo llegué a Orlando, pues pude conectar con la familia Lanzó.
Ajá.
A los 12 años.
¿Esos son de Guayama?
No, eran de Loíza, de una familia de
okay.
Loíza.
Okay.
Y eran los que estaban haciendo bomba cuando yo me acuerdo, como a los 13 años, era una familia lanzón. Y voy para Florida mucho para apoyar. Mi papá vive ahí, but I have students there. You know, with the virtual program, I have students everywhere.
You know what? Now that another idea that's coming to me, is that I don't know about that people. And I don't know about the people in Barcelona. And I don't know, we need in New York, I mean, I don't know, it's not porque esa es una cuestión de Guille, pero hay que ver cómo Nueva York, y ¿sabes? Yo creo que los BomPleneras han perdido eso, pero los BomPleneras traían gente de Chicago, de California, de Florida.
BomPlenazo is part of my
and
growth.
It's not happening, too. And we have to talk to, what's his name, the guy that is the new director at Hostos, that, the BomPleneras in New York has to retake that of bringing groups from the diaspora, it's a most, because siempre se traía gente de Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was always present in there, and then la Bombera vinieron, and I think there was a group from Florida at one time. But now, we really, I mean, this is serious. I'm taking this very seriously. Y esta conversación que tú ya estamos teniendo tiene que tener repercusiones. O sea, esto no se puede quedar aquí, porque yo no creo en eso. All right? Esto no es por hablar. Tenemos que realmente darle seguimiento a esta cuestión.
Y se puede hacer, and you can do it, because look, when I talk about New York, Bomba y Plena, I mean, I was young, and I couldn't travel, for many of my years. I didn't travel. I was a kid, and I tell you something, BomPlenazo was that time of the year every 2 years that we would wait for, because we knew we would be amongst elders and amongst like unforgettable moments en la bomba. Y no solamente the beautiful performances where we get to see each other, right? And validate each other and just support each other, but the after parties where the magic happens. Ahí es donde tú veías los mayores y todo, and we miss BomPlenazo, and even the committee, y Julia, y toda la gente que han trabajado, el comité, Alex Lasalle, todos ellos, we miss BomPlenazo, y de hecho BomPlenazo, trickled all the way until virtual programming, que Bomba con Buya hizo, yo creo que el 2021, si no me equivoco. But it is, BomPlenazo is very much part of the diaspora's growth in the cultural movement. So shout out to New York and all the work that has been done, Chicago tampoco se quedó atrás. It's just one of the really amazing things that I didn't even care in what state is that you guys had mayores, like real mayores. Yes. Like right now when we're talking about Marcel y todo eso, como que some heavy hitters, ¿verdad? Okay. Pero obvio, con los boricuas moviéndose primero a Nueva York, you guys got that rush of boricuas de la isla llegando a Nueva York, pero también se trajeron tantas cosas, o sea, vinieron tantas cosas nuevas que ayudó a elevar. But let me let you know that, that has also been part of my growth. BomPlenazo is part of my Bomba lifetime story and narrative. So I think there's always more work to do, porque being in la diáspora is not easy. It's not easy, especially doing Bomba y Plena, pero the good thing is that work is being done, y poquito a poco people are getting to the tables, and there's like evolution going on. There's a little switch going on.
Do you see Bomba as a movement of resistencia?
Oh, yes. I see movement as at least I see it, right? My intention, right? And I know a lot of people see it. Now, I will say that, as Bomba continues to evolve and grow and stuff like that, we are romanticizing it a little bit more. And when you romanticize something, becomes Fisher Price. I was saying that in la clase. But I never want Bomba to be where it's like mute. Tampoco. ¿Verdad? But I feel like there's a balance going on, and I think we're going to get to the point where we're having very intentional conversations.
Yes.
Así, we're talking, we're getting our history put together. Y una cosa buena. And otra vez, going back to lo que tú estás diciendo, el role de la mujer, women have had a lot to do with how Bomba's being held down now. And I don't even want to start comparing if a man is talented or woman talented. This has nothing to do with talent, but women, naturally, we just birth things.
Yes.
We birth human beings, but we birth things in life. So, and we have that kind of mother feel to it where we hold things down. So that's why you see a lot of women or men that are like frontlining things. You always find a woman next to them, holding it down.
Yes.
Y yo creo que eso es natural. Yo no creo que eso es algo
que no
intencional, como que to kick the man out.
No se ve como that you want to, what would be the word? You just want to be accepted, your role. To darle el crédito al rol tuyo.
Exacto.
Tú no estás aquí para competir, que te voy a tumbar. Estamos aquí para...
Yeah. I only compete to make sure that where I show up, that I'm still a student, but yo vine a hacer un trabajo y se tiene que hacer bien.
Okay.
For the respect of de mi patria, for the respect of the culture, for the respect of my ancestors, yo voy a hacerlo bien. And wherever I don't, I'm growing.
Right.
And so yo por lo menos my intentional work and how I move and the things that go on in my brain is that there's work to do. And so I love jamming with all sorts of people, a mí no me importa, tú sabes. Y cuando estoy con las mujeres aún más, I love being a woman, I have every right to want to celebrate and play with women and make projects with women, but I also make space for everybody. You get what I'm saying? Y no es quedarse con el canto, es dar también.
Una cosa que, bueno, esto es algo personal mío. I have a problem watching music without dancing. That's why I don't go to salsa concerts. Porque si oigo la música, me tengo que parar a bailar.
Oh my God,
y la gente dice, siéntate y esto. En hostels, 20, 25 years ago, they used to, you can dance. Pero yo insistí y ya no me dicen nada. Ya me dieron por incorregible. Pero una cosa que tú hablaste en la clase es el rol del batey en la bomba. Porque tú puedes coger clases y tú puedes coger clases, pero para mí, lo que tú estabas manifestando de cuando estás en el batey, que ahí es que baila todo el mundo, que no es un show, que tú pagaste 25 pesos por una taquilla, esto aquí es de gratis, esto aquí se viene a bailar, no se viene a
Exacto, y eso es lo que pasa, and this is why when I come into classes and stuff like that, I'm sweating, I'm drenched, you're going to have to hear what I have to say, what I want to share, what I've lived, but because you can be the most talented person, but if you have no awareness of how you move, everything stops. And you see it in all types of music. There's the most talented people in the world, but people don't want to rock with you because it's just bad. So I think that when we're giving classes and stuff like that, for me, this is just my style, and it's just my style. I like to just share on and look out for people. Like a big brother, big sister, like, you know, like, hey, let me let you know the way you come in, you know, what did you observe?
I was impressed by, you know, your class, not only the dancing, but you talk about the history of the music. And you quoted Alex Salle. You want to expand more on that?
Of course. It's important. Alex Lasalle is mi hermano, but he's also a historian, and our job is to also recognize, you know, our folks. They're our friends, but they're also like maestros. And I think that in La Bomba, we get so lost about like, yeah, my friend, if you have a resource here, yeah, you're my friend. I'm going to go and get it over there, but you're right here. You know, like elevate your friend, and they're doing the work. I think it's very valid lo que Alex Lasalle ha hecho. Of course, and I say the name, because it's important.
La historia, la bomba del sur, la bomba de acá del norte, la gente de acá, la gente de allá, el SICA, que es
lo que dice Alex Lasalle,
cada ritmo tiene un significado, y eso, ¿sabes? Que tú le estás dando a las estudiantes o a los estudiantes
and I told them to go look for him
and
go look for these and look for this person that I'm naming, or go look for this. I think it's important because I don't ever want to frontline people and control and tell them what to do. I like to give people options. This is option A, B, and C, and go explore to see what works for you. But they're all going to lead towards the bigger picture, which is all of us wanting to make sure that we preserve this cultura. And I think that's really dope, and that's something that I've had to work too, because you're not just born a teacher, you know. Dancing, right, and bombeando and being a musician is very different than teaching the music and what you do. Those are two different ball games. And so I have to share on what I learned, and I say names, because then I give the opportunity for folks to be like, let me see if this is true, you know, or let me see, because that is part of learning. You have to challenge what you're told. You have to challenge. You have to look it out for yourself, porque así es que tú creas tu narrativa, and you pay it forward in your own words without making anything up.
Okay.
You know, and I think that's dope.
In New York, probably el batey más famoso es la casita de Chema.
Oh, okay.
But we have to create more bateyes. We have to
create
more places aquí en el Bajo Manhattan, in Brooklyn, so people, they say, I'm not going to Bronx, I'm not going to Brooklyn, o la gente de Brooklyn, no, yo no voy para casa de Chema. ¿Tú me entiendes? Crear espacios con esos estudiantes que están naciendo, esos pinos nuevos. Semillero Congo, nacen pinos nuevos, porque a ellos, bueno, como esta muchacha indie, que yo espero que a través de ella podamos seguir los talleres aquí, y entonces traerte a ti de cada 2 meses, chequear lo que está pasando,
ella sabe, mi hermana,
tratar de y bregar con gente joven.
Yeah, but these are people
mujeres jóvenes aquí.
Yeah, these are people that have been doing it for a very long time too, and we should. And not so much creating spaces, because spaces stay empty without people.
Yeah.
So this is why I come back to community building. First, you have to sit down with the people, jam with them. First, you have to teach the folks, talk a little bit, see what we want I call them agreements. Everywhere, everybody has agreements everywhere. You go to Chicago and we have our own agreements about how we like to jam and how we like to see these spaces. Right. New York got their agreements, like all that good stuff. So I think, you know, community building, pero aquí there's a lot of sauce, and I think as we start making initiatives that call practitioners for many years to frontline these efforts, forget it. You're planting. These are gardens that you may not see them now. You see them in 10, 20 years, but in 10, 20 years, I'm going to be here too, todavía waiting. What's up? ¿Dónde está la bomba?
Meneando el esqueleto.
Seguro que sí. And at the end of the day, we want to continue for folks to do bomba. What we don't want to mess with is the quality of bomba that we bring to these spaces. That's what we don't want to mess with, not the people. We want quality, and in order for you to have quality, right, things, you need disciplina. And disciplines, you know, it's the most hardest thing when we talk about traditional music, because you have to get up every day with no palm trees, you know, different weather. Sometimes it's negative 10. Sí, no hay quenepa, you know, you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta look at these quenepas. By the time they get to La Diáspora, they're ready. And 5 days in, you know, you gotta settle for that and dream it. Pero you also have to go back to the island, you know, and just there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of people that can handle a slice of it. And I think con todo el mundo poniendo lo que tiene que poner, and there's a lot of people doing work for real, for real. I think we're good, but I think we're doing good. It's a lot of work, pero la diáspora is rocking. Look at this initiative. Look at what's going on right here. This didn't exist 5 years ago, but it does now because you were inspired in un bate from women, and it's just like really dope. So, this is a proof que se está moviendo la cosa.
Yeah.
Y tienes un equipo aquí ayudándote a
Yeah.
grabar esto. You know what I'm saying?
Definitivamente, la
That's
gente
what I'm
de
talking
los
about.
Center.
Seguro.
There's a lot of young people joining this, coming into this place and helping me out because, yo no sé nada de computadora. So I have somebody dealing with the Instagram.
But you're so deserving of that.
And I'm motivated, and of course, yo tampoco me siento a mirar, pero it's important that these people that están hungry for knowledge and their roots. Y para mí que Bomba, como lo que yo digo, es una música de resistencia que les va a dar a ellos.
Seguro.
It's going to empower them.
Seguro.
It's going to empower all these young women and men to keep this tradition alive, to bring, aportar algo también
Eso
de
es
ellos.
así.
Porque yo creo que yo veo eso en ti, de que, ¿sabes? Tú abres la puerta para que, para que se sientan cómodos
Always.
Y se expresen. You know?
Siempre, cuando, if I'm traveling, there's work to do, there's all types of stuff to do, I'm always, bringing folks in because I think it's important for folks to experience things. And if I were to sit down and really be like, oh, how do I do this? I think I'll stop, I'll mess up. I just like how me nace natural, like naturally to share, to pay it forward, to teach, be a student. And I rock, for everyone that knows me, I've been doing this non-stop that I can remember for 30 years. Wow. I've lived the experiences, and I still have so many experiences, but this is why, because I'm still young, and I know that I didn't get to live moments. This is why I'm always with elders. If I bring young folks to Puerto Rico, there's an elder coming with them. Because there are, when we talk about bate de bomba, when we talk about workshops, when we talk about history, none of that can go down without an elder. When I perform in Chicago, my elder's on stage with me. If he's tired or there's bomba, then he sits next to the drummers, not in the crowd. Because then folks know, like, there's a dome that you guys walk with, and I like that. Now like how you were saying, like you have a team to help you kind of like set things down. You're in another time that there wasn't so much technology. I'm lost and I'm part of this time. Just like, so imagínate, pero qué rico, because just because we get old, our elders are getting older doesn't mean that they tap out. Sin embargo, you're wiser. So we need to use that much. I'm sorry. We need to use that much, and we have to be able to take advantage. Like this right now. This was your initiative, and you got the help, and no nos para nadie, porque tú no sabes bregar con esto, no nos para, because now we got smart folks holding all this down and documentation, so it's pretty dope.
I'm so honored and grateful.
I'm honored that you invited me
here. That you
here.
came to La Sala and experienced this, and I know that you are going to put the word out. Dice, mira, allá en Loisaida hay un sitio que hay que chequearlo, que hay que apoyarlo y que está abierto, tiene las puertas abiertas a todo el mundo.
And
todo
thank
el
you
tiempo.
to all the elders, and thank you to you for all the work that you've done. These are my favorite spaces, to be amongst elders, and that you guys have a platform to speak out and know, because you guys know. And so, gracias por invitarme, ¿verdad, Loisaida? Gracias a ti, gracias a todos.